big first hurdle for them to overcome. Here we see the stats once again.
Significantly higher in most of in pretty much every important stat is CE, although XP, time flow, keeping up on it.
At the very
Maps
bottom,
are going to be very important here. Now, once again, CE currently at the top of the table. 0 map losses so far this season. Time flow, though, already showing to be impressive and with some slightly less than, if compared to the rest of China's standard picks, and that's already good to see. And they are very quickly turning into a crowd favorite, especially seeing as the experience a lot of people have from Timeless from when he was playing in Europe.
Yeah, very true. And we can see here in the match history that SPT use was a little bit too much for them to handle. So if they lose to giants like SPT, CE could follow suit in that. However, don't forget about the unpredictability of a team like Timeflow that features a team captain, or a team leader, I should say, like Timeless, who could always shake things up due to the just wild playstyle they have. And the garage he showed us yesterday was definitely something to be on the lookout for.
It definitely seems to work out well for them, as we're going to see Time Flow with our first map. The maps that were banned, Infernal Shrines and the Towers of Doom here, Towers especially, a very CE preferred map. So Time Flow taking CE to a place they have yet to play on this season in the form of the Battlefield of Eternity.
Now, Battlefield of Eternity is always one of those battlegrounds where a quote-unquote weaker team on paper can cause major upsets, because the potential of getting out-rotated and out-macroed is rather limited here, simply due to the size of the map. And if you're strong at team fighting and brawling in general, Battlefield of Eternity is definitely a good one to pick. And look at that respect ban against Timeless. CE respecting the
target ban. Even giggles from their side as well, as we also see a fairly reasonable respect ban coming in from Timeflow and Genji. First picked up for CE. Now, interesting fact, CE, all these teams have now played 6 maps up to today before the maps that we started casting. Over half of those games, CE banned Genji, and now they're actually going to get to play him.
Yeah, they're going to get to play him. The question is, who is going to play him? Because Zhuyu, as we said, most likely going to be on that solo laner, and it could actually be time for Alufal to show us what he's got.
That would be really exciting, actually, because once again, as we said, 3 bans, 0 picks on Genji for CE right now. So this is, no matter what, going to be a little bit new. It could be KTY, seeing him on the Genji. We have options there.
Although KTY normally isn't the big flashy playmaker on those mechanically challenging heroes like Genji, for example,
at least
he's
last
usually,
season.
At least last season, maybe he switched it up. But before that, we always saw him on those rather, reliable heroes like a Tassadar, like a Tychus. Those are more the heroes he likes to play. But, everything's possible with that new CE role swap and roster changes.
Now then, what are the picks going to be from CE here? Tyrael has been very popular for them, ETC as well, which is still both available.
And most importantly, guys, we're going to find out which hero Timeless is going to be on, because yesterday, twice in a row, did he pick... Wait a minute, all right.
Both the tanks. I was like, oh, they could pick one. Which one's Wind going to play then? I'd hope Tyrael, honestly.
To be honest, the new Tyrael, which we're playing with here, is a pretty formidable solo laner, actually.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, I'm going to take that back. So we go back to last season. What hero was KTY just absolutely superb on when he first joined the team? It was the Tyrael.
It was the Tyrael.
Give Wind that ETC. Tyrael, let's put it back on the old dog here. Let's put it back on KTY.
And the reason why Tyrael is a little bit stronger as a solo laner right now is a level 1 talent called Ardent Restoration, which gives him a little bit of healing whenever he damages an opponent hero.
Yet to see it yet. We have yet to see it be picked at all by any of the teams. We've gone for both the shield talents, but we have yet to see the Ardent Restoration.
I mean, Tyrael could still be in the 4-man lane if they pick another strong solo laner, preferably a ranged one, though, because triple melee is a little bit of a risk here, especially against Uther, who could always go for the Divine Storm and the Greymane as well. So let's see what Timeflow is going to follow it up on here.
CE have done their research. A ban against 11 here, coming in with that Zarya getting removed. Really enjoying the new CE we're seeing. We're seeing that same high level of play with an absurd amount of current meta knowledge and researching their opponents. Great to see.
Yeah, definitely true. And that's actually one thing we criticized last year about CE, didn't we? Their relatively weak drafts and their lack of homework when it comes to preparing for their opponents on the play day. This time, they definitely did their homework. We saw, as you said, 11 on that Zarya twice in a row yesterday, and boy, did he perform on that hero.
And we saw Timeless on the Garrosh, so they're removing both of those wild card heroes that we don't see too often in HGC China. They don't want to. They wouldn't have had much of an opportunity to practice against them, so why bother to play against them when you have bans? So the response, very damage-heavy comp from Timeflow here, with the Malthael and the Li Ming coming in.
Yeah, the Malthael is another strong argument not to go for a third melee, in my opinion, because otherwise the value that he can get from his ulti is going to be through the roof. Already with that Uther, by the way, comboing off really, really well potentially. There's nothing scarier, I would say, than a Divine Shielded Malthael that is just rending through your backline and frontline alike. So let's see what they're going to bring to the table. Also, Malthael, of course, on this very battleground, on Battlefield of Eternity, a strong single-target DPS machine against PvE targets.
Very true, and I've just realized something. I think this is the first Genji that we actually get to cast in China.
It could very well be
banned or ignored. It was ignored a lot during the last series we cast. It wasn't banned at all and just wasn't picked by either team. I'm pretty sure this is our first Genji to cast.
It's definitely a rare, or it's become a rare sight, just like in the other regions as well, because teams really have realized how strong the hero is, and Jaina makes a comeback here. The third or fourth time we see her in China. And the Kharazim as well.
Why must you taunt us, Alooful? Why must you have a Kharazim on your team when you have swapped off the support role? 365, you have big shoes to fill there. But, like you said, that does give us hope for an Alooful Genji, and I look forward to that.
Tetra, I'm going to go a little bit crazy here. 365 last season, he did play Assassin. He played Chromie. He played other mages like Li Ming and Jaina all over the place.
So you think this team's like super flex?
Yeah, so maybe we're going to see a Alooful on that Kharazim after all. The 365 is going over to the Jaina, and maybe it's KTY on the Genjo.
Maybe? That would be chaos, but...
That would be absolute mayhem.
Where's Zuyu then? Like, is Zuyu the Tyrael?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dude, he played him last season.
Very true. Well, we're going to find out as Timeflow lock in the Muradin. We'll have to see who's playing what, because if we looked at the recent hero picks, Timeflow definitely swapping around hero roles for all their players. So I'm not going to make any predictions there.
Safe to say that Timeless is going to be the main tank once again.
Well, no, he played Assassin in the last couple picks if we looked at the games we didn't get to cast.
It's so hard to predict. Well, if Timeless goes on that Muradin, in fact, we're probably going to be seeing a lot of Haymaker shenanigans or something.
Yeah, we'll see on this screen in a second when it tells us, as we will be getting ready for our third series of the day and the first game of it. CE, they've done their research, their comp looks pretty strong. Another melee though in terms of the support, Malfurion continues to be ignored here in HGC China.
Definitely true. We haven't seen Malfurion once. Not even once, when he continues to be such a staple in other regions. EU plays him a lot, Korea plays him. So it is still China's turn to finally find out the real strength and power levels. So we're keenly awaiting which player is going to play which hero. A lot of confusion going on, especially with those two unpredictable teams. But we're going to find out in a bit once we get that sneak peek on the preview screen.
Yeah, or when we head into game,
or at the very latest.
Find out as quick as we can. Previews. Timeless is the Muradin. Zuyu is the Kharazim.
All right.
No, 365 is the Kharazim.
365.
I read that
365.
wrong. Yes.
Zuyu is the Tyrael indeed. Okay, so it's not going to be super crazy, but nevertheless, we're looking forward to casting that first game between CE and Timeflow. And on the left-hand side, it is the current first seed in China, CE, with a Alooful on that Ganjo. We have Wind on the ETC. KTY is going for the Jaina. 365 on the Kharazim, and Zuyu, last but not least, on said Tyrael.
Can't wait for Alooful's Genji. On the right-hand side, it is Timeflow, with Timeless playing the Muradin, Cat on the Li Ming, 11 on the Greymane, Atui is playing on the Uther, and the F-Show is playing on the Malthael.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves for one hell of a series here between an old established powerhouse like CE and an upcoming hungry and eager team like Time Flow, who have been impressing us quite a lot, and of course who have the fans' votes here with Timeless being such a community darling.
I thought you were starting off the, was it Falstad or Muradin voice pack that lets you do that? Get ready for one hell of a fight. That's what it sounded like you were starting.
You can, of course, do the impression way better than I ever could.
No, I can't. The Scottish / in Blizzard's case, dwarf accent is impossible for me. So hard.
Alright, if we take a look at Tyrael talents here once again, because he's on the reworked version, we see Justice for All, which increase the power of shields on everyone around Tyrael, not just himself, so everybody's going to get 100% shield value, which of course makes a lot of sense against AoE damage coming in from Greymane cocktails, the Malthael of course in general, and Li Ming most importantly. Like, this increased shield value could really make a difference between giving a reset to Li Ming or not.
However, Li Ming going for an interesting talent, which has gained value on this map in the past. The Astral Projection here, going for the Astral Presence, the extra mana regen when she is below a certain amount. Not a globe-based talent. This globe's a little bit harder on this map. She spent so much time fighting in the middle. ATC with the stun onto 11 there. The damage output, though, might not be enough. Here comes a Lufel into the back, deflecting. Very messy, scrappy fight as Jaina gets taken out.
Yeah, unfortunately, no further kills here for Time Flow. The Arcane Orb was a little bit aimed too far to the right. Didn't really catch wind there anymore, but Jaina already falling, and we could really see the explosiveness of those Uther Muradin stun chains.
Yeah, and that, like I said, that was a messy fight. Very little synergy between CE there. Very uncharacteristic of them. Also, the Angel lane. Both the Angels came down from the top lane to try and help out here, become the Guardian Angels for their team. But Malthael was able to get a little bit more value due to a better angle of engagement.
Yeah, and speaking of the interaction here between the two Angels, it's definitely going to be a duel between the two heroics, right? Because Tyrael's Sanctification, which is likely going to be picked here, counters the Malthael heroic ability. So who's going to pop the trigger first is probably going to decide the outcome of the team fight.
Lufel getting bullied in the middle of the map here, being forced to back up and pick up a fountain. This will help him regen a significant amount, but very interesting to see. First time on the hero and already getting a little bit bullied here as CE look to try and raid the camp if it was being taken. As it is not, they will move a couple heroes into the offensive position and a couple into the defensive, while Time Flow.
Oh, nice knockback!
Very nice. Bye-bye. What? As Uther will finally go down. Lufel comes in and picks up the kill.
That was so nicely done by Wind here, patiently waiting until the stun zone by the Immortal popped up. The knockback into the stun basically sealed the fate of Uther. However, Time Flow is not done just yet. They're chasing down 365 relentlessly, shielded by Tyrael though, and it is now time for Retaliation onto show.
Time Flow taking a lot of damage as we see the Malthael go down. Timeless in a similar boat here. Oh, but Kharazim gets taken out, but the counter kill. Time Flow losing 2 members while CE only lose 1, and CE want to get more, but they can't catch up to 11.
In the meantime, though, Time Flow did a really good job at using Cat's poke here on the Li Ming. Look at that, Wind trying to use his big Tauren body to intercept all of those abilities, but doing so can oftentimes be a risk as well, because you do end up losing a lot of health. In the meantime, though, we saw that Time Flow was successful after all. However, they're still a little bit behind in experience, so how long can Wind and all the other CE members stall them out? Looks like they can't really do it for that long.
There, they're coming. They all went for fountains or ported back. As such, ETC was the only one here on the defense. Looks like their defensive strategy might be just to fight.
Big power slide.
And they tried that. The 4-map power slide. In fact, the Blizzard was good as the follow-up as they continue to push forward. F-Show will not drop here. Again, Time Flow escaping by the skin of their teeth here, and they're able to pick up the objective.
Yeah, this was so important for Time Flow as well. If they had lost Malthael, their pushing power would have already been diminished quite a bit, but with him staying alive, they can now utilize this very healthy Immortal and get some value, while F-Show as well is going to make it out to the Soul Lane in time to keep up the experience flow.
Timeless moves in, Wind able to juke it without too many difficulties here as 11. Throwing in those cocktails, no stacks yet, comes at level 7. So for now it is just poke damage as they will easily get the first 2 towers. But with Jada's Blizzard CE should be able to clear this out without too much fort damage.
Definitely true, and that is exactly what Time Flow needed. They fell off a little bit behind when it comes to experience, thanks to those towers that they just destroyed. They're now back in the mix, though. Zuyu actually going in very aggressively. Now, as strong as the new Tyrael is with his rework, he still can't compete with the dueling capabilities of his evil brother, Malthael.
Although, he is wearing a demon skin, so they are both currently evil, so... Indeed. Maybe this might be why he is playing a little bit more aggressive. But no, that is just silly. For now, Zuyu is just making the most out of the fact he has a very high hit point shield due to his level 1 talent, and is simply trying to choke out Malthael from any glows, and is trying to gain an advantage that way.
Very true. We see Skullcracker coming in for Timeless at level 7, providing that mini stun every now and then on every third basic attack.
Not landing the stun there as Timeless moving around. They're able to kill out the Impalers. Deflect used by Alufal as Greymane continues to drop damage. Greymane has been very effective throughout basically every series in HGC China so far.
Yeah, definitely true. Now, we're going to have some quest talents to be stacked here, especially Greymane is going to be on the lookout for sure. By the way, one quest talent we don't see at all is the Prog Rug on ETC. He went for the block party to basically provide a little bit of protection against those strong Worgen attacks by Greymane, I guess. Yeah,
and a little bit of extra damage because Skullcracker does actually do a crit attack basically, yeah, so that is cool to see as well. Could work out in that way. See the Fallen Shaman camp being taken at a more reasonable time. Timeflow took theirs a little bit early, I would argue. So CE taking theirs at a much more opportunistic time.
Meantime, Timeless scouting out the ETC. Wind takes a lot of damage from that Li Ming poke as well, but it's now Timeless who gets interrupted from that Dwarf Toss and gets taken out immediately.
Beautiful execution by CE. They move on to the point. They take a lot of orb damage, but the front line is just too tanky. And they will move forward, pick up yet another kill as well. Maybe another if they can get a 2 with the Blizzard. The Shurikens do not land, but they steal the camp and get 2 kills.
Unfortunately, Alufal didn't have another Swift Strike ready. Otherwise, he could have probably taken out the Uther there as well. However, that was such a clutch but yet crucial moment for Timeflow. If Uther's Hand of Protection had landed a little bit sooner, I think Timeflow would have been fine, because we have seen this multiple times now from ETC players. Look at that Mosh, by the way. No Wave of Force ready just yet.
As they move in, Blizzard lands on top. Sanctification for good measure. No counterplay from Timeless available. And down goes 11 for good measure. Alufal turning it up with the Dragon Blade. Timeless CC. And down he goes. Alufal.
Oh, moly moly.
Very nearly falls in exchange. Cat trying to become a little bit opportunistic at the end and pick up some pieces for his team. But, oh, he's still going, trying to find Alufal around the side. But CE come out so far ahead.
Yeah, they came out swinging there, by the way. They really utilized that short time window without Wave of Force available for Li Ming, and the picture-perfect synergy there between Tyrael and ETC, patiently waiting until the mosh pit had worn off, only to follow up with the Sanctification, so nothing could ever happen to the front line of CE. That was textbook play, really, really well done.
Beautifully done. The Curse Bullet drops onto ETC, but he tanks through it, gets a heal and a shield from Tyrael. And CE, even though they were able to win that fight and have a level lead, they're still a little bit on the defensive because they blew so many heroic stuns onto the Genji here. Moves into the backline. Tormented Souls with Divine Shield here as Malthael drops some good damage. CE with lovely splits though. Zuyu, the only one in range to actually attack Timeless, forced to retreat due to the damage happening. Uther heals him, and Alufal gets out on no health as Uther is dropped.
Keep in mind that the Divine Palm is still ready. Is it going to land Tyrael? Yes, it is. Yeah. Zuyu lives another day, getting out immediately thanks to the Swift Retribution there at level 7. Such a useful talent, by the way. I think it's easily one of the best talents in the game at level 7 right now. It provides additional movement speed, and it increases the attack speed of every hero standing in Tyrael's Smite. Super useful, super good.
It is very, very strong, and that extra movement speed definitely helped a couple people get out. So many low health heroes there. Tyrael was low. Genji had definitely single-digit health at the end of that fight. So very nicely done. CE, very solid fight. But Timeflow, Signs of Life, that Tormented Souls was very solid. But CE just splits so good.
Yeah, and welcome to the year of the Water Elemental. It is just insane how much value the Water Elemental can actually get in most of those China team fights here. In the meantime, Water Elemental is ready again. ETC Wind in a lot of trouble, though.
They're able to move back. Water Elemental is dropped and dead. So not as much value as I'm sure he would like from that, but F-Show, lots of damage coming in. ETC moving in, also low. CE, very aggressive play against a Li Ming especially. This could backfire if they're not careful.
I'm pretty sure Greymane on the side of Timeflow is going to have a really, or is having a really bad time right now because there is so much physical damage mitigation here. Never mind, Timeless with a good stun. Alufal still has the Swift Strike to escape though, but so much blocking potential available with the block party and of course the Earth ally at level 4 for Kharazim. So Greymane's auto attacks remain largely unimpactful up to this point.
So far, we are seeing very solid play from you due to most of those blocks. Nice stun, and again win the same move, but this time a Divine Shield is used, the one-man mosh pit on poor Timeless, and he gets taken out. Alufal moving forward with the Dragon Blade, and CE will take the Immortal.
Yeah, this is the first Immortal in favor of CE, and that one isn't really going to be that healthy, but it's probably still going to be enough to take down that top forward. Most importantly, because no level 13 towns are yet in sight for Timeflow. They will now have to lick their wounds, try to soak a little bit in the bottom, and although they have such strong combo potential with that Divine Shield Tormented Souls, they just can't really seem to find a grip on those team fights because CE synergy is just too good. The timing is impeccable, especially between Wind and Zuyu on that Tyrael.
Also Wind, and apparently his best teammate, the Immortal. He is the master of stunning someone and then knocking them into that Immortal stun.
Very true. Here comes the Water Elemental. Keep in mind that this is one of the lowest cooldown heroic abilities in the game. Much lower cooldown than Ring of Frost, which is probably one of the arguments why Jaina players like to go for it in China.
It's basically a guaranteed application of Frostbitten, so it can basically guarantee a little bit of extra damage, and like you said, the low cooldown is going to be very, very useful for exactly that reason, because you want to have something available at every fight. And Ring of Frost can whiff. A Water Elemental, you just say, here, hit this, and it will do the job.
Icy Veins now being locked in for Jaina as well, providing a lot of further additional cooldown reduction, causing her to deal a lot of burst damage. Divine Shield is good this time.
Divine Shield on the Greymane. They move forward. Mosh Pit nowhere near available. In fact, most of the heroics are very far forward considering that, but they're beginning to come back off cooldown. Sanctification just came up, but with the death of the Immortal, this push is very much over.
All right, now it is time for CE to maybe fall back and be a little bit more patient with that level 16, but Timeflow isn't even level 13 yet. Holy Ground is now available for Tyrael, and Timeless gets sandwiched and body blocked to the death.
The absolute crowd control. Power Slide preventing the Power Slide for the stun. Face Melt to prevent the Dwarf Toss. Holy Ground to prevent another escape. They're looking for a lemon. Can't catch him. Genji very low. Gets stunned down. Palmed. Palmed does not proc, unfortunately. But they're able to get the kill and get out here. Unfortunately, they wanted to get the other one. The Water Elemental is bullying Cat, though. Zuyu goes in anyway. Sanctification and Mosh Pit in the Blizzard from Jaina, and another kill picked up by CE.
Zuyu has found his profession. He is the ultimate gatekeeper, saying, you are not allowed to pass right here, right now, as long as I am standing. Those Holy Grounds have been nuts, denying passage to Timeflow left, right, and center, securing a mercenary camp, blocking them off to safety in the middle lane from that gate. The utility and versatility that Zuyu shows on the Tyrael here is just outstanding.
It is absolutely outstanding. The fact is, this Tyrael seems to be really good in general. Not just the hero, but the players playing it. That's two different players from CE we can see so far, just dominating on the hero.
Very true, and of course level 16 is going to make things even better. Horadric Forging, cooldown reduction for every basic attack on the Drune's Might. So good, that means more Holy Grounds, more armor in general. Tyrael at this point becomes an armor zoning powerhouse, basically.
365, that way of 100 fists. ETC power sliding himself into a better position because here comes the Tormented Souls getting many members, but Holy Ground!
Oh no!
For the denial, Water Elemental is slowing down any chase that FSHO could do. Timeless is again completely separate from his team as Genji in the back kills off the Malthael here and is going to get the Uther as well.
And you could see the sheer...
Oh my god, Alufal.
Just give me a break, CE. You're doing this way too well. I mean, a complete, clean team wipe here thanks to outstanding team fighting by CE. But you could actually see the desperation coming in by Uther. Atui, he tried to cleanse Malthael, but guess what? You can't cleanse through holy ground. It's still gonna be still not gonna be enough, man. Oh boy.
Yeah, so we have managed to hit our average kill count of 20 with just CE. As people who don't know, the usual kill count we see from China is an average of about 20 kills between both teams, and CE have hit that by themselves, shredding through the members of Timeflow over and over again. Genji, you can see him from the back. They'd already killed off Malthael. The Dragon Blade doesn't care about the stuns. He knows he can get Atui, and thanks to 365, he has vision on Cat and was able to pick up yet another kill.
Yeah, and we're going to have to mention 365 here as well. He's playing an out and really, really good Carsing. In the meantime, a four-man mosh pit interrupted by Wilberforce.
Very nicely done. No cleansing touch. It's the wave of 100 Fist. Sanctification turning it round, but ETC stuck in all the stuns here, dropping very low. It's only going to take one kill for Cat to try and turn this round, but instead it's Greymane who drops down first. The health bars are beginning to drop. Down goes Malthael and CE. They are just shredding through. There's finally some damage. The palm of the Genji isn't even needed.
Just
down
for the good
goes
looks.
Cat. Only Timeless and Atui left. Atui goes down. 365 doesn't even care. He has no health. He still picks up the kill, and Timeless drops too.
Still standing, but now he fell to the hands of CE. And the Tyrael sanctification value was over 9,000 in that team fight. Did you see how he completely shut down the stunning zones by the Immortal? And that, of course, allowed the team to really rend through the backlines of Timeflow. And Alufal did get that cameraman zoom in for a reason, because he looks to me like he was born playing Genji. Like, he was literally...
Yeah.
The first thing he did after he climbed out of the hospital was play Genji, and that coming from a support name is even more impressive.
Alufal has come into this season asking what's a support and has just got so much value on these heroes. He is taking a little bit of poke, as we can see, and of course 365 has done a good job. A couple preemptive palms, but they're a preemptive palm than a post-emptive palm.
There's nothing to be said here. Definitely true. In the meantime, Jaina going in. So does Malthael. It's a Hail Mary attempt for Timeflow. They need to defend this if they want to stay in the game.
FSHO, he does a lot of damage to the Immortal, which is already pretty good here. He's actually spread crazy amounts of damage. Shield from Tyrael is good, though. The Way of 100 Fist bullying Timeless to the grave. And FSHO, zoned out by the Immortal stuns, tries to teleport himself to freedom. He is able to survive here, but down goes the keep, and the Immortal is still healthy.
11 goes deep, trying to get Alufal, but Genji is too elusive here. Now, the core is being charged on by both the team of CE and the Immortal. Can they hold it? Timeflow is desperately trying, but they are running out of team members.
Yeah, Genji, by the way, the team members go down. CE even target them down, killing everyone except Cat, who they can't get to. That is GG, and CE continued their dominance of this league, taking game number 1.
Absolute annihilation coming in from the first seed of the league, CE Challenge. They performed admirably well at the GCWC a couple of months ago, and they continue to impress us. In my opinion, I've never seen